Welcome to DetoxToRehab Presents Reflections. My name is Brandon, I'm your moderator today, and today from left to right we have Bianca, Brianna, and Connor. This is going to be a weekly live stream that we do every Monday at 12 o'clock where we talk about various topics related to recovery and addiction. At the beginning of the stream we're going to read from Daily Reflections, and today's Daily Reflection is I am responsible. For the readiness to take the full consequences of our past acts and to take responsibility for the well-being of others at the same time is the very spirit of Step 9. Tendency to recoil from taking responsibility for anything. I deny, I ignore, I blame, I avoid. Then one day, I look, I admit, I accept. The freedom, the healing, and the recovery I experience is in the looking, admitting, and accepting. I learn to say, yes, I am responsible. When I can speak those words with honesty and sincerity, then I am free.
I look at this and it's basically instead of blaming others, that's what I did in my addiction, was I blamed everyone else for my problems. Everything in my life was everyone else's problems. And when I got clean and sober, I realized that everything in my life was brought on because of me and because of like things that I did. And I mean, I'm sure like people have helped with that, but in the end, life is like all about your own decision and the choices that you make, and it definitely does feel really good to realize, wow, that is my fault and I can take responsibility for my own actions today, and I can admit to my faults and make up for it. And that it is very freeing. It's nice feeling.
I like what you said, and I want to add to when it says I fear I learned that the very thing I fear is my freedom. What I get out of that is I have freedom from drugs and alcohol today. And now that I have freedom, there's the chance of me going back to not having the freedom. And it's like I fear my freedom because then I have the chance of relapse if I don't, do what I'm doing today to stay clean and to stay sober. And to this day, I hate admitting that I'm responsible for certain things. Like I don't.
Why is that?
Because I don't like, it's kind of my pride and my ego in a way. Like I don't want to let it down and be like, you know what, I'm wrong for doing that. Like I messed up, because as it is freeing, it's scary. It's really scary to own up to your own.
Yeah, for some things it is. Definitely.
Like even this weekend I had to own up to something that I did was wrong, and I didn't want to because one, I knew it was gonna hurt, and two, it was the pride thing. Like I wasn't wrong for doing this, but in all reality I was. And I deny, I ignore, I blame, and I avoid. That's what I'm good at. But this, like today, like I have to learn to I look, I admit, and I accept. And the freedom, the healing, and the recovery I experience is looking, admitting, and accepting. And I accept what I do today as long as I learn from it. And when I admit things to other people, I learn from it. And looking at the things that I've done is only going to make me grow and be a stronger person.
I think that fear is probably one of the key parts of this. When it talks about fearing my own freedom and taking responsibility for anything, I think that it's about changing my point of view from being all about myself,
Yeah.
right, to focusing on other people, taking responsibility for the actions that I've made and the damage that I've done, and trying to right my wrongs, right, and then focusing on another person, seeing if I can improve their lives, or you know what I mean, do anything I can. Like this selfishness of fear, it can rip me apart, and it's about growing, right, and learning and accepting, admitting, and all those things, and trying to focus on somebody else instead of focusing on myself so much.
And like the fear of the unknown, and like the addict, alcoholic brain, and like overthinking everything, and just getting kind of stuck in overanalyzing and
Like the
what
poor-
if, and no, like what if I tell them,
The what ifs.
like
They kill you.
yeah, like what if I tell them and this happens, just like overthinking everything, like the fear, like Connor was saying, you know, like it's terrible.
Without fear, there's no courage.
True.
It's very true.
All right, thank you guys so much for sharing. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is the Just for Today. And it's Just for Today, New Horizons, page 266. My life is well-rounded, and I am becoming a more comfortable version of myself, not the neurotic, boring person that I thought I'd be without drugs. Is there really life without drugs? Newcomers are sure that they are destined to lead a humdrum existence once they quit using. That fear is far from reality. We gain a host of new friends, time to pursue hobbies, the ability to be stably employed, even the capacity to pursue an education if we so desire. We are able to start projects and see them through to completion. We can go to a dance and feel comfortable, even if we have 2 left feet. We start to budget money to travel, even if it's only with a tent to a nearby campsite. In recovery, we find out what interests us and pursue new pastimes. We dare to dream. Just for today, I can live a well-rounded, comfortable life, a life I never dreamed existed. Recovery has opened up new horizons to me and equipped me to explore them.
That's so funny.
Because
Because you
when
have 2 left feet.
yes, that I do. Both of these guys know that. Everything about this, I love this. I'm definitely becoming a more comfortable version of myself. I'm more comfortable in my own skin and being like who I really am. I honestly, when I was on drugs, I thought, like, I don't know, I went through like a grieving process when I got off of drugs, like, oh my god, my life is gonna be so boring. How am I gonna do anything fun if I'm not high or drunk or whatever? And it really is true. The new friends that you surround yourself with, and like just new things that you find out in your life that you really didn't have time for because you were finding ways and means to get more drugs, more money, hustle, like you were too caught up in the mix of trying to get that next high, drink, whatever. It's really cool the things that you can do, and being like in the moment and present and actually like genuinely laughing with people that you love and care about. But like looking back now, my drug of choice was heroin, so like looking back at it now, I just think it's funny because I thought that I would be a boring person without drugs, but in all reality, like all I did was nod off when I was high.
This is true.
So like in all reality, I was extremely boring when I was high. So now, I mean, I like have so much more personality, and there's so many different like points of my personality than there was when I was getting high. It was either I was high or I was sick and I needed more. And that was it. That was like my life. That's all I cared about.
That was life.
That was it.
altogether.
So I really, really, really like this one a lot.
When it says just for today, I can live a well-rounded, comfortable life, a life I never dreamed existed. That is so true. I didn't, a year and a half ago, I was living wherever I could be, like sometimes on top of a church once, behind someone's, like in their backyard without them knowing, and just not sleeping for days on end, and trying to find the heroin, the meth, the Xanax, just whatever I needed, whatever I could put in a needle and put in my arm. And now I'm living a life that I never dreamed could ever exist. Like, I was in and out of recovery, and I was getting high. 2 weeks later, I got my sleep, I got my food, I was good to go, and I'd be back out there doing what I needed to be doing at the time, what I thought. And today, I don't have to wake up in fear of, like, how am I going to get the drugs? How am I going to get drunk? How am I, because I wasn't, in order for me to feel like a normal person, I needed that high. And today I can wake up and not worry about that, and I wake up and I drive to work and I can stay employed. And I mess up sometimes. I'm not perfect, but that's a part of living
Being
clean
a
and
human
sober.
in
Yeah.
general.
And I have so many new friends. Like, I constantly laugh and I have fun, and I can even be, I have my family, like my little brother and I will be in my room, like messing with my mom, like walking around all goofy, making weird faces, and just, I can do so much today because of my sobriety and because I'm clean. And I still don't know what I like to do exactly. Like, I don't know what my hobbies are, but I know that if I wanted to, figure something out, like right now I'm trying out the gym to see how that is. And really, I love being able to have the ability to just on the weekend chill and hang out with my family and actually see them and get to know who they are, and allow them to get to know me, because I was lost and getting loaded for so many years. Like, I never dreamed the life I'm living could ever exist from where I came from. I love you.
Okay, so what I think about this is basically that I need something to be okay. I need a foundation. I need something to be okay. I need something that makes me okay with you. I need something that makes me funny. I need something that makes you funny to me. I need to be all right, so I can progress and do other things in my life. And the way I used to do that, to be okay, was to get high or to drink or whatever it was. And I don't have to do that anymore, and I didn't know that that was possible. The problem that I couldn't do these things like education or stay employed or have hobbies is because there wasn't enough.
Right.
There was never enough for me to be okay, at least for a long period of time. And recovery has brought me a sustainable solution, something that makes me okay, gives me the foundation I need to do these things, to have hobbies, to stay employed, to get an education eventually, right? You know what I mean? To start projects and see them through to completion. I don't know how many times I started things and didn't even, like, all these brilliant ideas I had.
Yes.
I'm getting loaded, and I didn't finish them, but.
I'm still struggling with that.
Yeah. It's a process. Recovery is a process, and it takes time, and it takes effort and energy, but in the long run, it's a much more sustainable solution, and I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
On a day-to-day basis, I'm okay, and I'm comfortable because I've been through so many things, right? And we all have, that it makes life seem a lot better when I don't have to deal with them.
Right.
When I don't have to look at people in my family and tell them that I screwed up again or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm okay because I'm okay being weird. I'm okay having 2 left feet because it doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
those things are small, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself because they don't really matter.
Right. Like what you just said reminds me of what I hear in meetings all the time is, you know, my best day.
My best day high.
High couldn't compare to my worst day sober. It just can't, like, no matter how bad my day gets in sobriety, I'm not where I was. Like, I wouldn't have changed my life if it wasn't shitty. Like, I wouldn't have changed my life if I wanted to live, basically. I wanted to live, and I know if I kept going the way I was gonna die. And I really like what you both said on Just for Today. It was a good one.
I know, I really like that.
All right, thank you guys so much for sharing. It's now time for us to go to our audience and take some questions. And our first question that we have is from an anonymous user. And their question is, has anyone gone on to work in substance abuse recovery after their own recovery? Just wondering if anyone has gone on to work in their field after their experience with addiction and what their experiences have been like. Is it rewarding? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts?
What do you think?
Extremely rewarding.
Do you work in recovery?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
Yeah.
Like what I do like daily is basically talk to people on social media and help them find a treatment center to get into, and it's really rewarding, especially when basically I got the job like 2 weeks after I got out of rehab, which was super huge blessing because it just kind of fell in my lap, which was awesome. I had like 4 months clean. So that was awesome. And I don't know, it's awesome when you know, strangers that you're genuinely like caring for and putting your time and effort into and helping come back and say, you know, I really appreciate it. I really had no idea where to turn. I didn't know what to do. Yeah,
Been there and you've
I've
done
totally
that.
been there. I've totally been there, and it's definitely like an awesome feeling to help someone and to like give back what was freely given to me. It's a great feeling, and it takes me out of myself for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it's
Do you have
nice.
something? Okay. With what you said, my favorite, I work in recovery as well, and it's worth it. Like, I love it because of the same exact reason as you. Like, I write, like, you know, one of my favorite things I've written was, like, combating relapse with happiness, or what to look for in a sponsor for a 12-step program. And I've had people message me and say, you know, I'm sending this to my sister so she can, like, maybe this will help her, and it reminds me of my sister and when she sent me things, just hoping that I would get it one day, and I eventually did. And it's a good reminder of where I came from, and just helping people, giving away what was freely given to me is the most rewarding and freeing feeling I could ever ask for. Really, it's beautiful just knowing you can be helping someone get out of where you've been before, and it's just a terrible place to be in active addiction.
Sweet.
Good answers. I'll go ahead and move on to the next question. It's kind of a long one, so bear with me. So I started out my first year in recovery, going to meetings, working the steps, had a sponsor, the whole deal. I'm at 16 months sober on the 16th, and I feel the need to do something besides a 12-step program. Have you found something outside the program that is helpful to your recovery? I'm just trying to get ideas or any helpful tips. Thanks. So what helps you guys outside of a 12-step in your recovery?
I enjoy work. You know, after getting sober and staying sober for a while, it's kind of like just seeing like how far I can get in life, right? I think that's like I don't want to call it like a game because it's like my life, but I'm able to enjoy it, trying to progress and doing new things. My friends, you know, I have such incredible connections with my friends that we can sit around and do nothing, right?
And still have fun,
right, like
somehow.
I spend hours at coffee shops and I don't get bored. It's one of my favorite things to do. I just think you have to find something that is enjoyable to you. You know what I mean? If you don't have those connections with those people close to you, I would try to make them, because that makes such a difference in my recovery,
Right.
at least. And I know lots of other people that are the same way. And I think it's important to try to find what you like. You know, getting sober and is one thing, you know, but then what about the rest of your life? Like, you have to find out what you enjoy and what you want to do.
Yeah. I like what you said, because it's like 12-step program is what, and my higher power is what saved my life, and it is so important, but you can't make it your life, because this is what you're gonna feel, like you're gonna not know what to do and feel like you need something more because you're just so used to, you know, going to meeting, working the steps, just getting with your sponsor, like go out, like what Connor said, like make new connections with your friends, or go to a coffee shop, like try and challenge yourself to do something uncomfortable, like, and when I say uncomfortable, like walk up to someone new and be like, hey, do you want to grab coffee, or do you want to like go to lunch? Just do something to challenge yourself, to make you, I don't know, give yourself a learning experience, and if it doesn't work, try something new. Go hike a mountain, go hang out with your family, just go volunteer somewhere. There's so many things that you can do just to get out of yourself, and I think that would really help. And maybe working with someone new, like a newcomer in a 12-step program, would help too.
Sure.
All right, thank you. The next question we have is titled Getting a Friend into Detox. My close friend has been an alcoholic for 10 years. His wife says that for the last 3 years they've been together, he's gotten blackout drunk almost every night. The days he said he didn't drink, he later admitted that he was hiding and did in fact drink. It is time for an intervention, and I'm not sure how best to approach the matter. He needs detox. I think it is too dangerous for him to stop outright. He believes he can stop on his own and continually says that the next day will be the day he stops. It never is. I know he's going to be very resistant to inpatient treatment, but at this point, I believe it is the only thing that can work. Any insights? How can I help him?
My insight would be, this is what worked for me and my family, because they put up with me and my addiction for roughly 10 years, and like giving me a place to stay, and you know, I always had like that net to fall back on, is tough love, and they didn't really, you know, say, they didn't do the intervention and say, you know, you need to go to treatment, but it was basically like my family just disowned me, and I had nothing, and I definitely hit my rock bottom, and I mean, nothing's gonna change if nothing changes. So if the family's wanting him to get help, then I would definitely suggest changing your approach and
Stop enabling.
Oof.
What's up with that?
That's a difficult thing, you know what I mean? Enabling is like
enabling and helping, and there's a super thin line, and
Yeah, like my family, they would not enable me, like no money given to me, no place to stay. I would call them and say, you know, can you give me a hotel so I can sleep in a hotel tonight? No, doing that. But if they called me and I was like, hey, I just want to talk to you, like my sister would allow me to FaceTime my niece, and they would still show me that love and support that I needed, but they wouldn't give me the love and support I thought was what was best for me at the time, like giving me a place to stay, like getting me food, and they wanted me to hit my bottom quicker so I could get better quicker. And that's just enabling is a huge thing, because if my family enabled me, I'd probably still be getting loaded today.
It's definitely an issue. I think detoxing from alcohol is dangerous,
Yes, it is.
right?
Forgot to add
I mean,
that.
every day for the last 3
I forgot
years,
about the detox too.
you know, that can be very dangerous. And you know what I mean? I get the thing about tomorrow I'll get sober, tomorrow I'll get sober, but that's just, I mean, I've told myself that 1,000 times, not even just other people. Like, I've told myself, like, tomorrow, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go. The best thing I could do, the best thing that was done for me is that the decision was made for me,
Right.
right? Like, you're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I'm lucky that somebody made that decision for me.
Yeah.
'Cause I would've just never made it,
Right.
you know?
So I do think that that's where like the intervention would come into play, is tough love and you're going to treatment.
Detox first.
Or yeah, detox and then treatment, but
All right. The next question from the audience is from Jason, and he asks, what are your thoughts on drug replacement therapy like Suboxone?
that's all I have to say about it. I don't even wanna get into that, honestly.
For me, it wasn't successful, but I've known people that it has really helped them. My sponsor, for example, she didn't have anything for 6 months, and that's what helped her, but she had to learn that this is a drug too, and you're just replacing kind of another substance with a substance. But if that's all you have, and if you think that's all is going to save your life, I'd say do it. But it is possible it is more than possible to do it without it. Like, I think all of us sitting at this table did, and
Nope, I didn't.
like didn't do it without it. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, no, I was on methadone for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh
No.
my goodness.
I
And I was
wouldn't.
sick for 3 months. That's
So
why I'm like.
wait, what happened? You were on methadone for 2 years and then
And then I got, like, my life just went to crap, and I was worse off than I was when I was on heroin. And then I got off of it, and I was sick for 3 months instead of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I was
why?
on methadone too,
Why?
and Suboxone, and
I just, I'm completely, like, I'm personally, like, against it. I'm anti Band-Aids.
oh man. I mean, I'm not a doctor, right? We're not doctors.
I'm anti Band-Aids.
The only thing that we have is personal experience, and it's never worked for me, right? It's never worked for either of you.
I know.
And
3 out of 3.
I mean, I understand wanting to curb cravings. That's what because that's what I think it's
Yeah.
mainly for it, right? To curb cravings.
And to, like, block. So even if you're not craving it and it's sitting in front of you and you try and get high, you can't.
Suboxone, you can't, you get sick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so-
methadone, you're already high.
You're already high, and your level, like your tolerance for the
Oh, it's
opiates are so
crazy.
high that I remember like trying to never.
So I would get some information, as much information as possible, right? And then ask somebody else, because we all have the same personal experience, and then to not use it. That's
All
that's
right,
just what
thank
it
you
is.
guys
It's not
so
worth
much
it.
for that. Our final question before we wrap up here is, since getting sober or clean, what do you do for fun in recovery?
Oh gosh,
Lots.
this question.
You first.
I'm first.
Yeah, you go first.
What don't I do for fun? Like, work is fun. Driving in the car, singing, being weird is fun. Hanging out with my family is fun. Reading a book is fun. Life is fun in sobriety, because I never had fun when I was getting loaded. I may have thought that I was, but I really wasn't. Like, just the constant search to get well and to feel better, and fighting and arguing and just thinking people are your friends and not, like, that's not fun. Living is fun to me. And even sometimes get bored, that's life. Like, there's something I can do. I can get to a meeting. I can call a friend in sobriety and be like, hey, and just have a conversation for an hour about absolutely nothing. And just, my friend told me before that coming home, like, when your stomach hurts laughing because you were laughing for no reason was, like, one of their best experiences. And, you know, he also said, like, eating Taco Bell in the car at 3 in the morning, like, you do these things and it's fun, and, like, you don't have to have drugs or alcohol to have fun. Like, in all reality, for me, like, in my experience with things, drugs and alcohol made it not fun. Like, being sober is the fun part of things for me. Like, that's just how I live my life today.
Fun.
I can actually, like, spend my money on, like,
Money.
Going
you have money.
I have money now. Like, going to movies with my friends, or going to concerts. I got to see my all-time favorite band for, like, the past, like, 15 years. And I was so close, and I remember it. And and I've never been able to see them because either I was too high and I was like, oh, they were here last month, or too high, and, you know, I just never was able to do that. I actually, like, get to experience things with my 2-year-old daughter, and that's awesome, like, 'cause I get to experience new things, like, through her eyes, and that's really, really cool. And like, I have fun at work too. I love my coworkers. They're hilarious, and I think we have too much fun at work sometimes. But I mean, just doing nothing sometimes, relaxing, is just nice. And I'm an artist, so I enjoy, like, going and painting. We have a place, it's called As You Wish, and you, like, paint pottery. I love doing that. Or I don't know, going and getting lunch with a friend, or anything really. There's just, like, so many different things, going on a hike and making it to the top of the mountain. So I don't know, there's, like, a lot of stuff that I do now that I would have never in a million years thought that I would do.
I think the important. So I'm okay, first of all, right? I have a foundation in recovery, so I'm all right. You know what I mean? The want, the need, the obsession for drugs and alcohol isn't there. So I pretty much am left with, like, what's next? You know what I mean? I'm all right without drugs and alcohol. I can live my life. So what do I do with it?
Right.
And since I have all those options, I can do anything.
Yeah.
You know, because I can keep a job, because I have real friends, connections with people. Like, I'm just able to live a life, and I can do anything I want. You know, I went to California a couple weekends ago. Just took a random trip. You know what I mean? Concerts.
Because you have money in a car.
Right, because I have money in a car somehow. You know, I can get a loan.
Yeah.
Oh, right?
That's
amazing.
crazy.
That was
and
fun.
know you're gonna pay it back.
Right. Well, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but there's just so many possibilities. You can do anything, and the important part is that I'm not constantly thinking about getting high or constantly thinking about not getting high.
Right.
And since I don't have to do that, I'm all right, and I can enjoy things.
Yeah.
That's how it goes for me.
I like your answer to that question.
Thanks.
It's a good answer.
Thanks.
All right, well, we are actually out of time. I want to thank Bianca, Brianna, and Connor for sitting in with us and talking with us today. Just a reminder, we do this every Monday at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Mountain Time on the West Coast. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.